Fitting a little bump back trivium in waves. In waves was the way the game between Oregon and Arizona was played. Oregon jumps out to an 18-4 lead to start the game, and my eyebrows went up. I went, uh-oh, this is going to be interesting. Arizona finds a way to claw back. They go on their own 19-4 run in a game that is tight. Ends up with Arizona leading at the half 42-38. And there's a couple different things to point out here. Is one, Oregon's incredibly hot shooting to start the game. Arizona's inability to take care of the ball or to hit a shot. But a couple things happen. Number one, for Arizona, Caleb Love got hot.
Yep.
Number two, Anthony Del Orso got left open from three. Number three, KJ Lewis and Carter Bryant's defense coming off the bench for Arizona was basically the swing in this game. Carter Bryant finishes the game playing 26 minutes off the bench. He had 5 points, 6 rebounds, 2 steals, and a block. Carter Bryant is a guy coming in the NBA draft this year who could be a first-round pick. He could go back to Arizona. He's incredibly raw, but he is a freak athlete. The block that he had that was originally called a goaltend was out of this world.
The fact that he was able to get to it is incredible. The fact that he was able to get to it before it even got to the rim, it's otherworldly. What I think when you look at this Arizona game, though, I remember in the prelude up to it, talking with my buddies, hey, does Oregon have a shot? What do you think? It was 100% contingent on Oregon will win this game if Caleb Love has an average to below average game. If Caleb Love is awesome, which he is susceptible to do essentially every third or fourth game where he will do this, where he goes nuclear. You are going to lose this basketball game. And I think if you're an Oregon Duck fan, it has to sting a little bit knowing the fact that Caleb Love did go nuclear.
And you're still right there.
I think you can make the argument that Oregon still should have won this game. 54.5% from the free throw line.
The missed free throws is certainly something that bit the Ducks. Even more than that for me, and this is the swing. I just kept hammering it leading up to the NCAA tournament. The Ducks are a volatile three-point shooting team. They go 7 of 20 from three. If they get hot and they go plus 40% from three, they have the potential to basically beat anybody in the country because they're a team that can just spread, like with Biddle. Having a stretch five in college basketball is a bit of a cheat code because, like, perfect example, Don McClingan was great for UConn. Back-to-back national title winner, came off the bench his freshman year, sophomore year, played 20 minutes a game, but he didn't leave the paint.
Right.
Because he's 7'3" guy. There's no 3 seconds. You can zone it up. You can just keep him at the rim, and it's impossible to score at the rim. But if all of a sudden your 5 now has to step out because there's a real threat of a guy out there,
right?
It is a massive, massive, massive problem. Quentin Post at Boston College torched North Carolina, was it 2 years ago? Just because he's a 7'1" guy who's going to sit out there and just bang threes on you. And now he's doing it for the Golden State Warriors. And it's like when you get these guys that can do that, they really can bend your defense. And Biddle ended up having a very solid game, but it takes out that Toby Awaka for Arizona was in foul trouble for large portions of the game. Toby Awaka is not this incredibly skilled big man who's going to just, work you in the post. It's like Janai Broom from Auburn has got every different kind of post move up and under. It's kind of Taj Gibson-y.
Yeah, he's going to get to his spot. It doesn't matter how he gets there. If you're going to be strong, he'll go finesse. If you're going to go finesse, he'll go strong.
Yeah. It's he's going to get 24 years old. Like you just, you've got the skill, you've got the size, you've got the strength, and you've got the IQ to know how to execute.
Right.
Awaka's just a truck.
He wasn't going to get moved by Biddle, and it was clear that's why Biddle struggled early. You could hear it on the game. Jalen Rose kept harping on it, like Biddle has to get back into this game. Biddle has to get back into this game. And when Oregon went on their run, it was because Awaka got into foul trouble, so they had Vashir out there. Vasar, completely butchered his name. But he was on Biddle. Biddle could back him down the way that he wanted to, and he could get to that jump hook, and there was never an issue after that. Biddle helps get Oregon back into it, and Shellstead helps Oregon get back into it. But I definitely felt watching this game, especially as you get towards the end, it was the perfect time placement for it because it was Pac-12 after dark, but it was the perfect time placement for sloppy basketball play. Like, as good as Caleb Love was, if the ball wasn't in his hand, Arizona made mistake after mistake. I mean,
that's college basketball in a nutshell, my man.
100%. But this was
when you've got
more.
guys. I mean, but when you've got guys that your primary ball handlers in college. They are that, not because like, oh, you need, it's the same thing I talk about in the NBA. The guys that are handling the ball because they can handle the ball.
Right.
I think everybody thinks like, oh, you're a D1 top 25, institution college player. You can create against other dudes. No, most guys can't. And that list gets infinitely smaller when you get to the NBA. And the difference between like Caleb Love is a guy that I think when he first got to college, a lot of people thought he would be an NBA prospect. He's a fringe. He might be a second round draft pick. His age is going to probably preclude him there. He'll maybe go undrafted and get some camp invites, stuff like that, because he can get hot.
When he goes nuclear, he's unbelievable, but he can also go
exactly. But that's
ice cold.
That's the consistency. That's the name of the game when you're talking about college basketball. And honestly, with a game where Jackson Shellstead for the Ducks goes 9 of 14, 3 of 6, 4 for 6 from the line, has 25 points. You think it's a game that the Ducks can win, but one of the things that stood out to me when I looked at this, the Ducks hit 32 shots. 8 of them were assisted. They had to create their own offense individually all game long because Carter Bryant and KJ Lewis and Awaka were so damn disruptive.
Lewis was incredible on Shellstead because he did a great job. They were trying to get into that pick and roll with Biddle and Shellstead, and every time he would jump and almost like blitz Shellstead and force Shellstead to get the ball out of his hand, or he couldn't attack downhill on that screen is what like I was noticing. And so then that neutralized Shellstead a lot in the second half.
It made Shellstead a scorer.
Yes.
And it didn't allow him to be a creator, to hit those kick out opportunities, to give the Ducks good looks. And it was a well-executed game plan by Arizona. Again, both these teams played even down the stretch, 45 points apiece in the second half. The difference in the game was how Arizona closed out the first half.
Yeah,
that was the difference in the game, and that's the KJ Lewis, Carter Bryant minutes that were so disruptive and got Arizona on that big push to close the half.
I know this is a lame complaint, but it is, and maybe it's just because I did bet Oregon in this game, but I understand why Arizona was fouling. It's the smart thing to do. It is the correct thing to do.
Most college players can't shoot free throws.
Right. I'm talking at the end.
Yeah.
When Oregon's fouling, Arizona's fouling. How do you neutralize it as the Ducks in that situation so that as Love goes to foul Shellstead there at the very end where Shellstead tries to get into the shooting motion,
had a big review on that in the Illinois game.
It's a lame way for the game to end, I guess. Maybe it's more of a complaint because you can't neutralize it. You can't say, well, Arizona can't foul there as a rule. Well, then Oregon can't foul there, and then the game ends. So there's nothing you can really do about it. But as a viewer, it's one of the more disappointing ways to see a close game like that end because it just turns into Arizona wasting time. And I get it. It's smart. It just sucks as a viewer of that.
No, it does. It's a smart way to play, unfortunately. And you kind of limit some of the great